Yeah, I'm joining from my tent, folks, so that you know, I already texted KristaLyn and I was like, I am feeling the whole like full moon in Cancer kind of thing. So if I cry, I'm just gonna let it happen because honestly, the feelings come from a place of gratitude for the most part, and that like I am so blessed and just lucky and grateful. I had a wonderful last few days, and thank you for and I'm grateful for that snowman I just got. Oh my goodness. Um, but like I this year has created so much awareness for me of just how much I have to be grateful for because
Mhm.
so many people are hurting right now and there's so much going on. And some people, what's worse is they don't even have things going on, but they make things for them to make it worse for themselves. And I'm grateful to have a family and I'm grateful to have a found family and I'm grateful to have a safe place to sleep at night and I'm grateful to have therapy so I can talk about these things and I'm grateful to you that we can have these conversations. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm just like, I have feelings today.
The list doesn't end, and that's a good list. Yeah. No, I feel the same way. Like one of the things that I've been focused on is active awareness of things accomplished, of things that are there. When we finally found a house and found stability after a couple years of chaos, one of the things we had to ask ourselves was like, is it okay that we're starting to feel happy? Because there's this almost hesitance when you start to feel happy, because in a world like we're in right now, it gets weird. Like it's a weird thing to be like, actually, I'm content.
Mhm.
And I think if more of us found ways in little moments, in big moments, to do that under a Cancer full moon, no less, yeah, that would, it helps, even if it's just a moment of it.
Yeah. That was something I actually had a conversation with my mom about, who is a Cancer sun. Love her. Um, and she asked me, she was like, are you having
Mine
like
too.
some kind, oh, perfect. She asked if I was having a small equivalent of things like survivor's guilt. And I told her, I I think in previous years I would have felt guilt for simply like being where I'm at. Though what I explained to her, and I had to think about it, and I love my mom because she's so good about like bringing these things up to me. It's not a guilt thing, it's a gratitude. And it's this feeling of certainly there are things that I have done to be in the place that I'm at, but also there are things that me in this life as me has not done. And yet I am here. And yet once again, I can go to sleep in a bed at night and be safe. And so many people don't have that. And yeah, I'm feeling the feels.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I bet your mom is too, with the moon being at least somewhere in the vicinity of her sun.
Mhm.
So this must be a really lovely time of year for her.
Yeah, well, certainly the holidays and other fortunate things. We have a combined family. My stepdad, his two kids, and they have significant others now. And my family and more like the family is growing in a beautiful way. And with my stepbrother being in the military, we don't always know if he can come home on holidays. So like whenever we have times together where at least like my two step siblings and my sister and I can get together on the same day, whether it's like Christmas or not. Like it's always just so meaningful for us, and I know it means a lot to her. We just had such a nice time, which once again I'm so grateful because some families don't have that, and I just I'm very fortunate, and I haven't always been able to acknowledge that or even understand that as I've been growing up. But like this year in particular, I just got hit in the face of like how much I have to be grateful for.
That's nice. We should all get hit in the face with that every once in a while.
Just like a smack, kind of like grateful.
Hey, by the way, pie in the face. So, yeah.
If I may, just because I want to say, I'll get on the grateful train one more time and then we'll see what
Oh,
happens
please.
for the rest of the hour. um, I am wearing, this came at the perfect time because I came home and the package was waiting. And I'm wearing a bracelet that I actually commissioned my the person who I work collaborations with for jewelry on. Her name's Lala Lotus, and she helped to create this jewelry line with me. And so I commissioned her for something special just for my moderators, just because they've been so incredibly supportive to me all year. I consider all of you, because I know you're watching right now, and they're like having the emotions too. We love Lauren, yes. um, they have just come through for me in so many ways, personally, professionally, publicly, privately, without me even having to ask. I've been able to go to them and ask for perspective on my like how I am perceived publicly, how I am perceived privately, and they were honest with me, and I'm so incredibly grateful. And I wanted to commission something special for us, and so I worked with Lauren to create this bracelet, and all of us have a unique piece on these bracelets, and all of us have them now. So I'm going to show this off real quick because Lauren always does a beautiful
Wow.
job.
Yeah. I love the
So
colors.
yeah, all of them represent one of us. Like I talked to everybody and I was like, what color do you feel represents you? Like what kind of crystal do you like? That sort of thing. So we're all on there, and I just got it today, like right before the live, and I was just like, this is the perfect timing. I messaged Lauren. I was like, thank you so much. Like everybody loves these.
Well, and that's so thoughtful on your part too, Rebecca. That's an amazing gift idea. So I'm sure everybody's already thanking you for it, but wow, how thoughtful.
Well, thank you for saying that. And they, of course, everybody, when they've been getting in the packages, everybody's been, talking about like, I got the thing. It was a secret, but now it's out. So we've all gotten them.
That's amazing. So
But
cool.
yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay, we're
Tier
here.
number one.
Anywho, how was your holiday season? I know it's not entirely up because we're not into January yet, but how are things going for you?
It's been really nice. Again, the last few years have been hard for the family, just in general. And this year they're starting to settle down. And even if they're not fully settled, we've all kind of reached a point where it's like we can be happy where we are and we can find new normals and we can, just see each other for how different things have gotten. We've all individually that's been going on with my family. And this year it's just like I see you as, not just a mother and child relationship, but like as this human being to another human being. I see what you're going through. I can help and I can support and I can be there to lean. And it's just been really nice to change the definition. As nostalgic as I can be sometimes and as resistant to change as I tend to be, this change was really heartwarming. I had my parents down here at my new house. We went to their new house last week. They moved and I moved in the same week. And then they came down here. Oh, hey, Esme. Um, they came down here for Christmas Day and we got to celebrate that together. And it was lovely. It was great.
I love that. That
Yeah.
that resonates with me as well because it's like even something. So one of the things I love when I'm able to go back to Jamestown, I'm able to go back to my Quaker meeting house, and that even resonates with different people that I talk to there, where the kids are getting older, they're adults now, like we're having very adulty things happening and going on, and so we're able to see each other as more equal than in previous years. Like I think about like you have a house, you have a new house, like they have a new house, like how that it's like parallel but different but still the same, and you're able to see each other in that regard. So I feel that we had conversations like that too at meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also just nice to be on the other side of, a lot of people are going through troubled times. And it feels like when they happen, they're never going to go away. But we're getting to the part of like the picking up and learning to love the new thing, love the new personalities, love the new situations, and know that there is something after the hard stuff, and that you can have a life after that. You can have joy after that. You can still love after that. And it's a really like bittersweet kind of beauty. It's a very, I would say probably like a Pluto Venus kind of beauty thing. Which I'm really appreciating. And I hope everybody else who might be going through things just other side to those things. They are mountains, and you eventually do get to the other side of it. Um, and it's not the same, but it's still really, really cool.
For sure. Speaking of all the love, thank you for everybody in my chat right now. I'm seeing some Patrons in my chat. Thank you, thank you. Um, Yay. Oh, Pattern Scribe, who you know, I
Oh,
don't know if you know their
yes.
handle. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, so just said all the love. Yes, good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. A much gratitude to Pattern Scribe because you never fail to comment lovely things, especially on YouTube. I don't know if you've noticed this, Rebecca. YouTube is where the people come to like really nitpick. Every time I get a comment from YouTube, I'm like, okay, great, a comment. Oh, wait, is it going to be just someone, asking a sardonic or not very nice thing? Or is it typically a Pattern Scribe? So,
Yeah, I'm so grateful on YouTube, especially because it really still feels like the Wild West, but like a Wild West with like towns
mhm,
that YouTube actually moderates appropriately.
yeah,
Um, but the comment section still feels like a free for all. It was really intimidating being on YouTube and actively putting energy into growing YouTube because of that reason. Um, and that's the thing, it goes so far for any comment section words. I know if I'm going to comment on anything, it's because I want to share an energetic exchange of gratitude and appreciation. I don't want to put a comment towards something that I don't like or is not right with me or something like that. There's enough hate out there as a whole, and I'd rather not put energy towards it. I'd rather just be like, that's not right for me. Like, I don't need to be watching that anymore and just not go back to it.
yeah. Yeah, my other problem is I try to fix them. I know this is one of my weaknesses, but I'll be like, this is telling me a lot about what you're feeling right now. Can I help you? But obviously they're not wanting to acknowledge that yet, not ready to. Like it would not actually be helpful for me to do that. I've learned the hard way. So just be patient with the people who want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So the people who have the kind words, the people who are having enough fullness in themselves to be kind to each other, they're really a blessing.
Yeah, for sure. So, to all of you watching, whether you're watching here or on YouTube later, please know any kindness that you bring to either of our channels, wherever you may find us, is always just so appreciated. Even if it's just to, I think moving forward, if you all see channels and stuff that you don't really resonate with, and it's not for you to comment on in a particularly negative way, we can work on ourselves by having conversations in person rather than, trying to get into a fight on a message feed or something like that.
But for the people who are bringing joy into the comments, I just want you to know how often we think about you. Every time we're making content, we're thinking about you guys because you guys are the ones we want to interact with and we are looking forward to hearing from when we post things or when we share things. So I'm sure that is true for you as well. But I know like every time I'm writing a transit script or doing my little newslettery thing on Patreon or whatever, it's always the people that are kind that I'm thinking about and that make it worth doing again. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I will second that for sure. The reason why I'm on TikTok in this capacity, I owe so much to commenters who were kind. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when I kind of had a coming out as a medium, like I really didn't know how that would go. I started it as skits and I was really concerned about calling myself a medium because I was concerned about like people putting an expectation on me that I wasn't ready to meet. Um, and even though I was worried about that, I put the skits out there anyway. And I was just like, well, let's see what happens. I don't have to continue them. I can always go back to what I was doing before, or I can leave TikTok, like whatever. And when people said that they were interested or that they were invested, or when people also commented, oh my goodness, that's happened to me, or I know what you're talking about, or I didn't know other people could do this. I didn't know that it was possible to um, be like this and just be like living your daily life and that kind of thing. Truly, that's been such a huge part of why I'm still here. Like comments just go so far, spreading kindness goes so far. Um, and that's the thing. What was it? I did my winter solstice live with some of my readers team on the winter solstice, And I wanted to share gratitudes there too, because, perfect time to do so. And I I even teared up then, which is now on YouTube. Me just like, because people just said such nice things, and to put yourself out there on such a public platform and to open yourself up, especially with me, I put my personal life out there. I put my personal waking up out there.
Yeah.
And I had to trust, I was like, if this is meant to be out there, then it's gonna be good. It's gonna take off. It's the good is going to far outweigh the negative that's gonna come along. And I'm once again just truly grateful that is still the case. No matter what I go up against, no matter what comes at me, no matter what people say, or jealousy, or misunderstanding, or cruelty, I am reminded daily that there are more people out there that mean well, that want to grow, that have curiosity, that have kindness, and we're just trying to, like, be better for ourselves and for each other. Um, P.S. Side note, because I see Lala Lotus is in my chat. Yes, I am wearing this, and I gave you gratitude at the beginning. I don't know if you saw that, but yes, if anybody is watching, oh, what did Lala Lotus go? You're on there, so.
Yeah, it's so funny. Lisa was saying it's nice to be here today to understand this moon, and you've just been speaking the moon this whole time. If you want to have an understanding of the interpretation of a full moon in Cancer, it is a full heart, um, very much so in a lot of ways, and the themes that you're expressing of belonging, of community, of being nurtured in a community and knowing that you contribute and are welcomed for it and accepted. Those are all very Cancerian themes that are usually not spoken as much. We hear the healing, hear the mothering and things, but really it's the giving of love and the receiving of love unconditionally that is so huge.
For sure. Oh my goodness, I love this. I have a local in my chat watching from Barbary Coast. I think that's like the oldest bar, like certainly in Wilmington, but one of the oldest bars in, like, on the East Coast. I don't always mention the comments, but Preston, thank you for sharing that you're watching from Barbary Coast. Oh my goodness. Ooh, if my Wi-Fi gets weird, let me know.
Sorry, I missed some of that. It froze a little bit.
You're good. I literally was just like, if my Wi-Fi is weird, because it just gave me a thing. It was just like, your Wi-Fi is funny. And I'm like, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah, for anybody who's commenting, because I'm seeing you saying, like, where have you been? I have been posting. It is an algorithm thing. So if you have time and energy and you want to binge my content, I would be grateful. I don't know how your algorithm is going, KristaLyn. Do you see some of the same stuff?
I have just been in a cave of the algorithm since I joined TikTok, like since 2021. So it's, I've just never really fought with the algorithm. It is funny. I'm noticing the skits seem to be suppressed. And when I talk about folk magic, I get more people who actually end up seeing it, not just interacting, but being like, oh, there you are. And it's like, yeah. So one of the things I am doing, Mercury retrograde was in my third for a while. So I'm thinking about how I connect with people, and I'm going to be doing one skit a week for the whole week of transits, where you get more planets in a moment. But now I'm sharing more about what the moon phases are and how to do some intentional work with that. Some examples of it. I'm thinking about doing a pot that I'll probably be sharing later in the week, and just things like that
Excellent.
to make it more personal and practical. Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, it's weird because, like, skits used to be so important
they
on
were.
TikTok. It was like skits and trends.
Mhm.
So it's also been something I've been looking at too. I'm kind of posting a skit a week and seeing how it goes, though I've been kind of running into the same thing. So it's been interesting. especially during this period with winter solstice and all of that, I'm also looking at how to move forward. How do I want to move forward? How often am I going to be posting? Am I going to put more effort into long form content, which, by the way, I am. But speaking
I've
of,
been thinking, oh, go ahead.
no, 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 go on, go on.
I've been thinking, leaning in intuitively and looking at the astrology coming up. It seems like the stable platforms, the ones that really do give you longevity, there's a lot more energy to be put there. And then taking pebbles from the long form and sharing them where people can discover them and then go to the long form seems that whole fun seems to be coming back, where it's like, I've made this really well thought out thing for you, and I want you to know how to find it. So here you go. Here's like a small piece of it. But also, I made it here because it has the ability and a place there. Um, so I've been putting more into Patreon and YouTube longer videos and just kind of splitting them up into smaller things for places like this so people can have those little nutmegs of things for entertainment. But yeah, TikTok seems to be, M will say TikTok is going through an identity crisis. And it seems like it might be. Yeah, just trying to figure itself out, the teenage years of an app.
Mhm. Yeah. Casey, yeah, I know someone's trying to be me. I've got about 50 impersonators and I have reported and blocked all of them. I request that you do the same. For anybody watching this and post on my profile, it will say, I will never DM you because I think that is just to DM you for solicitation, I think is super, super sleazy. I hate the energy of that. If you ever are interested in booking with me for anything, all that's going to be through my website because that is secure and that is monitored by myself and my assistant. So yeah, I wish that there was more that I could do, though even when I make video content about it, the algorithm doesn't push it because they don't want to look bad.
Hmm. Yep. Thank you for kind of giving me a little case study on the folk magic shows up more on Instagram, but astrology shows up more on TikTok. Riddle me that one. I'll just keep doing both. It's good.
Hmm. Yeah, I've noticed that myself. And it's also interesting. I have like a personal account, and the algorithm's sort of be different on that as well, for
Mhm.
Instagram and TikTok.
Yep.
Um, I wanted to ask because we kind of got into it a little bit, energy. I know
Yeah.
we had talked about, in part for the sake of the conference, which, by the way, for anybody watching, if you did not know, we are having an in-person conference in January. Um,
It's so
the
close. It's
energy
like
is
a
looking,
month from today, actually.
it's a month from today. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna see you in person.
Oh my gosh, I'm so ready. I'm so ready. I was saying to you in text yesterday, this entire city of Richmond is going to get some kind of spiritual activation that week. I just know it
Yes.
because we're going to have so many incredible people here.
Yes, like this is a gathering of just people. We have never all been together in this capacity before. I know almost all my mods are going to be there. For example, I'm gonna get to see all of them in person at the same time for the first time ever. Some of
Mhm.
them I'm getting to meet in person for the first time. And like you, I get to meet you in person. For the Emily, I get to meet in person. Rebecca as well. Like some of
Yep.
my Patreons, I I'm so excited. I've never felt so excited about a gathering with other spiritual people as well as people who found me from the internet. I feel just I keep talking about it because I'm so excited.
How could you not? Like it is the coolest thing. Like not only the fact that we get to meet so many people, but what we're accomplishing with it that is just really, I wish this existed years ago, but I'm so glad it's existing now. And I'm so honored to talk about grateful. Like I'm even getting misty. I'm a Scorpio moon. I don't do that. But to be one of the people that gets to be a part of actually making this kind of thing a reality, it's a gathering for responsible, practical, and real paranormal, spiritual, magical, all the things. We're opening with a therapist for Pete's sake, right? Like we get to say like we're acknowledging healing. I've spoken at magical conferences where the people there who were teaching and receiving were running from their healing. They were running from those kinds of things, and it was, you could feel it. The whole hotel felt it. But here it's going to be enlightening, not just like in enlightening as in expanding our minds, but enlightening. We're going to feel lighter, and I can guarantee it. And Sarah, uh, thanks for saying I get misty when it matters. So that is true. I do. I get a little misty eyed when it matters. You would know. Um, but yeah, it's such an honor to be part of this moment. The education that we're going to be able to bring and share is going to be so cool. Sorry, I'm like
Yeah.
gushing, but
I mean, I'm open to the gushing because I feel it myself. And
yeah.
we still have a contest going on. It's
Mhm.
on Instagram specifically. For those of you who have purchased tickets, you can enter a drawing to get a free hypnosis session. And it's very simple to do. Just pop on, it's Sacred Spaces Gathering on Instagram. And that only runs for a few. But can you talk about who our hypnotist is? Because you know him.
I would love to. Yeah. So, um, the reason I trust this hypnotist is because I have gone through his work twice now. Um, and so it's this hypnotist healing. It's not just hypnosis is like we're going to make you bounce around like a rabbit or cluck like a chicken. And in fact, he gave me an education before we started so that I understood and questions I hadn't even thought to ask. Like I said to him, I'm like, I'm really cynical. I'm not sure how suggestive I am or suggestible I am for hypnosis, but I'm good at meditating, so maybe I can help. And he cleared away all the misconceptions even I had about hypnosis, even having been in this realm for so long, and explained what the healing is. It's a lot like theta healing or belief work, but having someone guide you through in such an intentional way and say things that you wouldn't think to say kindly to yourself. One of the things that I loved the most was I was in this state of hypnosis and I was still able to think. It's like when you're singing. When you're singing something, the words are coming out, you know them, but you're also able to think at the same time. That's a lot like what hypnosis felt like. This thing is happening, but I'm also able to think and be conscious and move around. He said you can get up and go to the bathroom and not break the hypnosis. But he would say things about what I deserve to believe. And I would feel it like rushing past me. And every once in a while, he'd say something, and I'm like, oh, I really want to hold on to that. I really want to hold on. And that rest of that day, it was the day I realized that I had been accidentally holding on to anger and resentment over something that I consciously had tried not to. But in the act of doing so, neglected my own feelings, which became anger and resentment anyway. And he helped me release those because he works on that specifically. And everything in my life did change that day. Like because I was allowed to release those things holding me down. I went through this whole perspective shift, and it was amazing and very clarifying. So it's not something that's going to be manipulative. It's not something that is for showing off or anything like that. It's not even recorded, because you have this moment for yourself. He is a lovely human being. He's actually a member of my Brahmarai lineage. So he works with Brahmarai as well. I'm teaching him a little bit of astrology. Um, and a little bit about I don't know if I've mentioned this publicly yet, but I've been invited to apply for a Master's of Divinity at a college in Canada, and I did, and so it's very likely that I'll get in. And so I've been kind of sharing the things that I've already been learning. I'm helping that college create a lifelong learning spiritual path program, and so they invited me to just get a master's. So, and I may end up with a doctorate by the end of it because I'm helping them create a doctorate of magic. So
Congratulations. That
thank you.
is how recent was did you find this out?
Um, so you remember when I texted in the group chat the other day that I was jumping up and down because I had just submitted my application?
Yeah.
It was that application. So I submitted like last Wednesday while Jupiter was rising to sort of
Mhm.
mitigate the Mercury retrograde thing. Um, yeah, so it was Jupiter exactly opposite, or sorry, Mercury was exactly opposite my natal Jupiter in the ninth, exalted in Cancer, where the moon is right now. So the timing really seems appropriate. And of course, there's tiny like clerical errors that I'm expecting along the way of the application process. Like I sent them my transcript from college, and they immediately left the office and did not claim it, and will not for like another week. So I'll probably have to spend another $5 for a new transcript. But that's okay because they're corresponding with me one on one. So I'm also learning how to not panic over small things, which is probably part of Mercury's lesson as I go back to school.
Hmm.
So
For
yeah.
sure. By the way, you're getting all the congrats in my comment section right now. So
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like not even paying attention, even in my comment section. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Esme. You guys are amazing. Yeah, I'm very, very excited. And that's part of why I've been redistributing my focus because I want to make sure that as I'm focusing on my studies, oh, you want to see something really cool? Um,
always.
for people who are in my book club on Patreon, we were talking about this, The First Alchemist. So I'm reading this to see if we want to bring it into the book club. But this is my annotation. So I've got these post-it note tabs here, two highlighters, and an erasable pen that has actually like stars and an astronaut on it, and it magnets to my book. And this is one of my favorite Christmas gifts that I got, the book and the annotation thing, because all of these are just ancient astrological texts that are now annotated with my highlights. And there's going to be even more as I dive into biblical text and lore. So it's going to be good.
Okay, you may need to make a video about that because already in my comments, people are loving that and they want one for themselves. So,
Sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh. If I could get like, if it's called Mark Pods, so I'll put it up here. It's probably backwards, but Mark Pods.
mhm.
And the pen I got when I was in Ireland, but they have little places for your own pen here. I recommend erasable pen because that way, if you write something wrong, you can correct it. I usually have erasable highlighters too because I'm nitpicky like that, but I like the way that this has all the things to it. And it
Yes,
even comes with
love it.
bookmarks too. So like you actually can bookmark even after the magnet won't hold anymore.
Perfect. I love organizational stuff. I love that so much.
I have a Virgo midheaven and a Taurus sun, so I'm just like all the good stuff that I can make efficient sounds good. Yes.
Wow. Let's see. We mentioned the conference. We mentioned some of the energy leading up to the conference. I
Yeah.
wanted to do a quick review on the energy leading to this point and moving forward, just because I know I talked with Emily about this. I'm not sure if I talked with you. I feel like we did, like in one of the conference meetings. Um, just how things have felt so stagnant for like, for me, it's been longer than 4 weeks, but it just seems the closer we got to Mercury in retrograde, the more things were just like, and I know part of that was so that, I mean, at least I'll speak in me terms, me, my. Um, I know for me, I needed to reflect. And I also know for those who I've met, as well as my Patreon and our community there, it's been a time to reflect. Um, and a lot of us have just kind of been looking at it and being like, okay, well, when do we start actually moving forward? Like, how do we get through this thickness? And what's interesting is I knew it was coming just energetically. I felt it in early January, but it was yesterday. Maybe it was being in a different place. Maybe it was just a variety of things going on, but also I just started to feel wheels moving again. And it was an inspiring energy. It was very much like, all right, I can do this. And then it kind of turned into, huh, I can do anything. What was that
Hmm.
dream that I was thinking about doing 3 years ago? I could I do that now? I think maybe I could. What would that look like? And so it's kind of been this sort of reawakening of dreams that never quite went away, but were just sort of like sitting in the ether, and all of that's just kind of been moving, and I feel the movement going further. Like it doesn't feel like work feels like work anymore. It feels more like, oh, I want to do this, and I'm inspired more, and I'm drawn to things more, and again, and yeah, I feel very much we're getting back on track on things, and yeah, that it's a I want to check with you for the stars and stuff.
Yeah. So, back in January, and I'm gonna make sure I get you exact dates here, because what I think we may be looking at primarily, there are of course other factors. This year's been a dynamic one, a lot of change, a lot of like getting out of energies that we've been in for quite a while. Um, but let's see. Back in January of 2023, we had Jupiter in Aries. And so Jupiter being in Aries, that's fine. Jupiter's a fiery planet by nature, had just come out of Pisces though. So we went through this time of enlightening and awakening and all of this like dreaming. And then Aries was like, yeah, but you got to do something with it. Do you have the energy? Can I challenge you? And a lot of us were just like, that's a lot. And it was this big burst. And so a lot of people went through big bursts of energy between January or last December, really, and May. Yeah. And so we kind of went through that because Jupiter says yes, right? That Jupiter is the grand benefic. I like to call him the ghost of Christmas present. The come in and know me better man, but like, don't stop. So Jupiter will expand things without limits because Saturn's the limits, right? So if you blow up a balloon, eventually it doesn't need the limits of the balloon anymore. The air will continue to expand and it's still there, but it's going outward more. So what we got with Jupiter though, Taurus around May 16th. And so the actual desire to work towards things that feel valuable to us, that feel nourishing and revitalizing for us, came around maybe that time. But then what we found was, I'm going to get my exact dates here again. In September or so, it may have started feeling like it was dragging, early September. Does that resonate?
Oh,
Yeah,
hard.
cool.
Yes.
That's when
I
Jupiter
mean,
went
all of this
retrograde.
has, but yes. Okay.
Yeah. So in September, Jupiter went retrograde. So Jupiter slowed down to a halt and started moving backwards through Taurus. So we started thinking about, well, what are those things that I've been wanting to do? Can I really do it? Do I really have the energy? Do I have the resources? Am I supported in doing it? Do I have the people around me who will give me the time and space? And so then we come into this lovely Cancerian full moon during a holiday season. So it's like the hopes and dreams of the people are aligning with the moon being full in Cancer, as the moon does each year in the December Capricorn season. Um, so it's kind of appropriate that this is our time of year of getting to that point of hopes and dreams and wanting to belong and find family and all those things. But also, Jupiter is stationing direct. So Jupiter is going to be direct on December 30th. And I could even go into a little bit of an extra lovely thing that's going to happen with that if you want me to. But I think that's our major player in what you're describing.
Yeah, and always I am here. I am here for you to go as
Yeah.
deep as you want.
Awesome. Because I'm very, like, everybody in my Patreon will have seen this already because I give an election every month of like, here's something really magical as far as timing. And if I find a really good one, I will eventually, I promise you guys, I will eventually say, here's how to make an actual talisman. But I'm so picky with that because you're inviting a personality into an ornament that you're going to be carrying around with you. You want to make sure it's friendly. Um, so what I will say is we can do petitions. So you say, like, I would love for this. It's sort of manifesting at the perfect time. And so you'll ask for this kind of thing, like you would petition Hermes. We petition Jupiter or Venus in this case. And you could do either one because this week, Venus is finally going to get out of detriment in Scorpio and she's going to make it into Sagittarius. Now, there's a fun fact about the sign that she's going to be in and the sign Jupiter's in. Does anybody happen to know who rules Taurus as a planet? I'll give you a hint. It's one of the two. It's Venus. So Venus,
Okay.
no, Sarah knows this. There you go. Um, so Venus rules Taurus, which is where Jupiter is. But Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is where Venus is. So they're hanging out at each other's places right now. And that's called mutual reception in astrology. And truly, if you read ancient texts, they'll say each of the planet is strengthened by the support of the other when they're sharing those spaces. So I don't necessarily have my things, but fortunately, you're the same size as me and you happen to have an extra outfit for the party tonight. And that's kind of the mutual reception vibe, right? Like, or, I knew specifically you were coming, so I made sure my guest room was exactly what you like. And so they did that for each other, or that's the energy we have starting on the 29th when Venus comes into Sagittarius. The 30th, Jupiter, we have him moving forward, no less. And then we have the two of them hanging out that way as long as Venus stays in Sagittarius, which is through January 23rd. So the month of January is actually beautiful for feeling supported and hopeful and wanting to expand your horizons and do all the things that you're like, why don't I think I can do that? There is that coming in. Yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited for that. And thank you for explaining it in a way that I could understand because I'll be real. I love astrology. I love hearing about it from other people.
Mhm. Yeah, language, I recommend if you're gonna learn it, make sure it's something you can be super passionate about because it's its own rabbit hole for sure. We are in Wonderland down there. So
And if people are looking to learn more, they can join your Patreon. They can book with you for personal perspective and lessons and all of that. So if you're
yeah, I do
feeling the
mention.
itch, this person right here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like to give as accessible as possible astrology. Like, if you don't want to learn it, don't. Let me tell you all of it. I'm more than happy to talk about it all day long. And I offer free stuff on Patreon that will get you through the week with astrological magic and folk healing and folk magic too. So even if you didn't want to go into the tiers, you'd still get hopefully what feels like a lot of value. It's certainly a lot of fun for me.
Thank you for the gifts. I did that one late, but I'm trying not to interrupt. So thank you so much. Um, yeah, I think too, this is the kind of feeling, and I love this feeling, but also I've got air signs up and down my chart, you know this.
Yes,
Um,
I have your chart pulled up.
so yeah, like I'm always just like prepared to be like, what are we doing today that we've never done before? Where do we go? Do we know why we're going? No, okay, well, let's just,
Would you rather?
yeah, it's like, is it prettier over there? Well, we can find out. Like, let's just go. Um, but I feel that energy, and it's an energy that I oftentimes associate with this sort of like limitless potential. And the way that I've been able to lean into it, now this is coming from growing up, I still work with my anxiety. We have an understanding with one another. I work through that. Um, but so much of my life was filled with me not trusting myself and having these urges and stopping myself because it was new or it was different or it was outside of my routine or I was afraid. Instead of what I've been doing more since I've had more of a spiritual awakening, which has been leaning into the feeling. I feel the urge, and the nerves are from excitement. They're not from being afraid. And I've learned how to decipher that for myself. And so, feeling that kind of energy coming about right now is super exciting to me because it is fuel to me. And
Mhm.
I want to go back again. If other people are feeling this kind of energy and you don't quite know what to do with it, but you can find yourself somewhere near Richmond, Virginia at the end of the month of January, that's what this is for. I can't tell you how many times I've packed up my life and been like, I'm going to try something new, and then I just wind up somewhere. So if you're feeling that urge and you feel it somewhere in your gut and it's exciting to you, even though it might be different, that's what this conference is for. We still have some tickets left. So consider it. And that's just if you feel it. I'll just go with that. I know I have been freezing up and down. Oh my goodness. Tell me when we're back.
We'll see. Hi, Chris, Chrissy B, and Meg. Hello. There we go. It froze there for a second, so I was just saying hi to some people.
You're good. Yeah, I saw you freeze for. It's so weird. Like I've got a green dot. I don't know. They're doing maintenance on it.
Yeah, yeah,
We're in the time that we're in. So I hope you heard, for anybody watching as well as you, KristaLyn, I hope you heard what you needed to hear in that
yeah.
bit.
We heard that if you are in the Richmond area, come on in. We still have space, and we definitely have enough room in our hearts and in our location for you guys to be there.
Excellent. And once again, right now, especially as we're running the special prize for working with the hypnotist, you have a higher chance of getting that. We're giving away 10 sessions, which is just
Mhm.
incredible. Like, if I weren't hosting this conference, I would have gotten a ticket. Because, like,
Yeah,
what an incredible opportunity. And, like, to have that perspective moving in to this time period, like, wouldn't it be amazing to understand what are the limiting beliefs that you have that aren't letting you be the fullest part of yourself for and embracing this kind of energy? Like, there's just,
yeah.
I'm just so excited. Like, I can't say that enough. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, and the beautiful thing is we're also, this is someone who wants to really heal people. His whole passion is how can I heal people? How can I help people? So he is so excited to be able to offer this. His name is Jeff. He's a lovely human being. And he's very into ethics as well, which is a huge component of this conference. You know, we want to be ethical, we want to be responsible. He is on that same wavelength. So I'm really glad that people like Chrissy B are going to be there. Esme, we will be thinking of you the entire time. You're incredible. We'll tell you all about it in Egypt because I think you're going to be in Egypt and that's going to be amazing. Um, and Meg, it looks like you're coming too. Fantastic. Oh, that's so fun. Cool. I can't wait to see you all.
Right? It's so exciting when people are like, I'm coming, and I'm like, ah, you're coming. Yes, for those of you who are not able to be there in person for whatever reason, there is a virtual option, and thank you to my mods for bringing that up again. So that that is open as well, and we respect and understand wherever you are that you are there. So
Yes. Yeah, Sarah, we will also be definitely thinking about you who will be there virtually because taking advantage of that, that was a cute crown.
great. Thank you, Annette, for saying that. Um, and yes, there are still spots open. So yeah, because thank you, mods. See, you're also wonderful, and I've got some readers in my chat right now. See, I'm gonna get emotional again. Thank you. You're just so helpful, and I thank you.
Oh, my
And a
some
ghost,
people
and I
that were
just
in
got a
Forgotten
ghost.
Storytellers
Fantastic.
together. Sorry.
I know you're
People
good.
who are in Forgotten Storytellers together are connecting right now, and it's awesome. I love you guys so much.
Excellent. Oh goodness, there was
Speaking
something I
of things that
wanted
we're
to
grateful for.
for sure. I was a
Oh, that
forgotten
was it.
storyteller
Yeah.
too. Still grateful.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Oh
oh,
my
there was
gosh, there's
something.
a corgi. I'm sorry.
Oh, did you get the
Sorry,
corgi
I
butt?
said corgi. Yeah. Oh, and well, I mean, obviously, because I have two corgis, so that made me really stoked. Ah, thank you. Wow, I'm like so excited about that. Sorry.
You're good. I understand when like a new one comes up. I'm always like, oh, and I'm so glad you got the corgi one because it is special.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I
Um,
wish I could bring the corgis to the conference. Oh, and a ghost. Thank you guys. I like that the ghost's name is Boo.
right.
That was my first.
Well, I'm thinking we have roughly 10 minutes left, but I also know there are some
Mhm.
funny tech things that are kind of going on. I was thinking, could both of us give a little bit of kind of like a motto or kind of perspective, things to kind of think about, things to offer grace on roughly for the next week going into 2024? Would that work for you?
Yeah. Yeah, the final week of Mercury retrograde happens to be the same as the final week of 2023. So give yourself grace if you're fumbling, is one of my major things. You know, we're learning to ask the questions we didn't think to ask right now. And it's not your fault you didn't think about asking them. And it's not a bad thing that the universe has conspired to remind you. So I'm telling myself that daily. And I hope that it's helpful for everybody else as well. Just you're not I feel like especially with Mercury in detriment and retrograde, a lot of people may be feeling either foolish or not as connected as they'd like to be and those kinds of things. It's not the case, and you're entitled to that. You're learning new questions to ask and learning how you can expand, and that's how you grow. So learning is a part of mastery, and I think that we forget that a lot. So, I mean, if you look at people who are obsessed with learning, they become scholars, right? So, and they get stoked about highlighters. So, grab yourself some highlighters and go attack a book with your highlighters in a loving way.
I love that. Attack a book in a loving way. I want to give
Oh,
a
thank
quick
you.
shout out to Abstract Freckles, who just gave me like the cutest thing with like a, it's called Cuddle. It's like there was a puppy and a kitten and a heart, and it was like adorable. Um, Also for the snow globe, Autumn, thank you. And of course, ma'am, you've been sending, and Mag, oh my goodness, all these things coming at once. Thank you, thank you.
Sprinkling the
Um,
gratitude broadcast here. Sarah,
yeah,
how do you share the highlighters? Yeah.
um, yeah, okay. So I want, just because I so happen to be in my tent and I have my set here, I'm gonna pull a piece for us moving into the next week just
Yeah.
because it's fun. So for the collective, what do we need to be aware of? Something good to know for the next week. Left of the light.
Ooh.
All right. So this is one of my, I nicknamed it a magic stone in my set. I've got a few that shit and it said magic to me. So where are we with this lepidolite? Okay, yeah, it's feeling like getting there. So one thing that I love about this one, it's got this kind of like foggy top, and then it's got like this beautiful inside. And
Mhm.
I love the way that that's portrayed, and I'm drawn to like popping out of the fog, so to speak, in the stone. So one, it feels like further validation for what we talked about, kind of getting out of this sticky feeling. Like we all have this ingrained trust, this ingrained gratitude, intuition, this magic sort of thing. It feels like ah, beautiful imagery. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about because you're from the Appalachian Mountains. That feeling in the morning where there's like the fog over the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Mhm.
And it's so thick at the beginning, but you can see the sun that's coming out from behind the clouds. And if you just give it a little bit more time, that sun's going to come out and all those clouds are going to be gone. You're going to have like this beautiful scenic overlook, and you get to just sit there and exist with the beauty that is where we are in the universe.
Mhm.
Um, there's so much hope with this pull. So I would recommend for anybody feeling their holidays, feeling their feelings, truly take some time. And I'm going to do this myself. So please know I'm not asking you to do anything that I'm not going to do. Um, take time to really feel what you are grateful for. Take time to acknowledge what is the fog and when do you see that fog dissipating with time? What is your sun? What is your warmth? What are your mountains? What is your overlook? Maybe even draw a picture and, draw some things out in there. What is this? What is this? What is this? Because I know we all have it. And it's hard, certainly, when we're cold and we don't quite see the sun and there's fog out and we're like, we drove to this overlook and we can't see anything. So try to look at it from maybe a more macro perspective. If you were a bird, what would you see?
Mhm.
So take that and see what is there to be grateful for. Because certainly, even if something's small, or even if we consider it small or inconsequential, we're here and we're breathing, and many of us have safe places to sleep tonight, and that is something to be grateful for.
Mhm. Yeah, and sometimes we don't see the thing because the presence of it is to be leaned into more. It's funny when you were sharing that, I was given the image of I visited Mount St. Helens once, and I would love to say I saw Mount St. Helens, but I didn't. They had this whole presentation of like the history of Mount St. Helens, and then the wall opens up and is supposed to reveal to you the actual mountain through a window, and it was just fog. There was nothing. But you still felt the presence that just through this thin layer, there was some kind of massive, majestic thing present with you. And almost not being able to see it made you feel it more. And so sometimes it's just believing that just through this fog, there is something, and the fog will, like you said, clear eventually. But until then, it's the communing with the energy of it, like with your lapidolite, um, that makes it even more magical. I love that.
Yeah. So trust in those you trust, who are telling you that it's there, even if you can't see it, and give yourself grace. I'll give myself grace. I'm
Yeah.
working on it. I work on it all the time. So, well, it has been wonderful to be able to chat with you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. Thank you, Annette, for all the wonderful little gifts that came through. That corgi just made my day. I'm gonna go hug my real life corgis now. Um, but yeah, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. Everybody who's celebrating anything right now. And yeah, if you're looking for connection, again, the Sacred Spaces Gathering is waiting for you. And you can also get free hypnosis healing right now. So cool.
Yeah, yeah. So cool. And for anybody who just joined, this will be up on my YouTube likely tomorrow, and KristaLyn is going to be tagged on there. So if you want to go follow them, if you want to learn more about astrology, obviously, I'm not the one. That is KristaLyn. So And thank you to the mods. Yes, thank you, thank you. Thank you for saying that, Joey. But yeah, for everybody, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, whatever that means for you, whatever holiday that might mean for you, or maybe it's no holiday at all. That's beautiful as well, if that is what you choose. So thank you again for joining me, and yeah, we'll see each other in a month
Yeah. And tomorrow on our call.
during the weekly call, which I'm always looking forward to. So,
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Have a beautiful night, everybody. Thank you so much.
bye.
Bye.